there, Banjo Land. Mike Heading here. For this week's lesson, I'm doing 10 beginner licks in the key of G. These are a bunch of basic backup or lead licks that I've collected from people like Earl Scruggs, J.D. Crowe, some of my own licks, just stuff I've picked up over the years. And this is a great lesson for beginners who want to get into throwing some licks into their backup. I get a lot of questions from students, okay, I can do a basic roll through the chords, but how do I spice it up, make it more advanced? And one easy way to do that is throwing in some basic backup and lead licks. And it takes a little time to build up your lick library, and that's what we're going to do in this lesson. I'm going to break down each lick note for note, and then show you how to use the lick, which is more important than learning the lick. I'm also going to show you how to create your own variations on these licks, so you've got even more examples to work with. All right, here's 10 licks in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down these 10 licks in the key of G. Let me play the first one, and then I'll break it down. Here we go. Again. One more time. Alright, so we're going to start with really basic licks, and we're going to get kind of increasingly complex as we go along in this lesson. But let's start with a really basic lick. It's a 2-measure lick. We're going to start with a forward roll, so we're going to hit the 3rd string with our thumb of our right hand. Then we're going to do a 2 to 5 slide on the 4th string with a forward roll, strings 4, 3, 1. So thumb, index, middle with your right hand while we do that slide. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Let's do that a few times. Don't slide too quick. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go up and do another forward roll and do 5, 3, 1. So that sounds like this. The second measure of the lick is a classic Scruggs fill lick. Our thumb's going to come back down. We're going to hit the 3rd string and then the 1st string, so thumb middle. Then we're going to go up and do a forward roll, 5, 3, 1, while doing a hammer on. So thumb, and then index with your right hand while you're doing that 2, 3 hammer on. Back to the open 3rd string, so take your left hand off. Down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then open 1st string. And then at the end of each lick, I put a pinch just to signify that the lick is over. So you do thumb on the 3rd string, pinch, and then 4th string with your thumb, and then pinch. And that's just signifying that the lick is over. So you don't have to play that if you don't want to. So let's do that whole thing. A couple more times. Do each one on its own, because another good thing about this lesson is you could also break each 2-measure lick into a 1-measure lick, and you could actually do 20 licks. So think about that too. Let's break each one down on its own. Just gonna loop measure 1. Now let's loop measure 2. So where would we use that? Because just as important as learning a lick is knowing when to use it. So you could use it as a backup lick. And then maybe go to a C. Let's do the lick again. D. Lick. So I basically threw it in after each chord change, so it's a very common backup, or it could even be used for a lead lick. Something like that, it's a good opening melody line. So the last thing you could do with that lick is flip the 2 around. So maybe start with the Scruggs fill lick. So I'd really encourage you on this lesson to mix the licks up. Take the extra time to change it and alter it. That's really going to reinforce that you know the lick. It's very easy to learn it kind of one direction where you can do it, but then if you see that lick in a different situation, you get thrown off because you haven't practiced it, you know, flipping it around in different ways. So try measure 2 before measure 1. Try measure, you know, add different chords. Try going to different, you know, like I said, go to a C after the lick, go to a D, go to an E minor. It doesn't matter what you're doing on those chords right hand wise as much. Just practice filling some time and then going back to the lick. Okay, let's try lick number 2. Let me play it and then I'll break it down. A couple more times. So we've got kind of a basic hammer-on lick to start it. We're going to do an open 2 hammer-on the 4th string while doing a forward roll. Strings 4, 3, 1. You might have seen that kind of lick in Cumberland Gap or a song like that. It works really well. So I did T-I-M there. Then I'm going to go up and do 5, 3, 1. And then we need 2 more notes, thumb, middle. So that sounds like this. It's a good kind of rolling backup lick, or again, a lead lick. You could start a solo like that. Just a good little backup lick to throw in there. Maybe I'm rolling along, maybe I'm doing open rolling. Just a forward verse roll with open strings. Now I throw that lick in. Very simple, and it just adds a little flavor. And then the second part of the lick is you hit the open 3rd string, then up to the 5th string, and then a backwards roll, and then a 3-2 pull-off, and then open 3rd string. And the first 2 beats of that are quarter notes, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 40, and 1. Let's do that a few times. I can just loop it. That's a great lick. That's a great ending lick too. The other way you might see it if you want a little variation is on that 2nd note. So instead of just hitting the open 5th string, I also might put my pinky up on the 5th fret of the 1st string where you get that octave, and I'll pinch that. So I'll do. That's another little variation if you just want to fill it up a little bit more, just pinch. So that's a great fill lick. Again, try playing both licks back and forth. Maybe I start with measure 5. Try them the other way. That's one of the best ways to reinforce these licks, like I said, is play them a bunch of different ways. Maybe even take a lick from the first one and try and play it with the second part. So maybe I'll do measure 2, that Scruggs fill lick, and then I'll put measure 5. So take all these licks and mix them up. Like I keep saying that, I want to reinforce that because that's one of the best ways to learn licks is you have to put them into new situations. That's how you're going to take something that you learned in one situation and figure out if it works in another situation. You have to try it first. So that's what I want you to do on this lesson is take any of these licks and just mix them up as much as you can. All right, let's do lick number 2 one more time. So take these and mix them up. You could even take measure 1 and put it with measure 5. If you do those kind of things and take the extra time to do that, you can turn 10 licks into 20 or 40.